theater is a reflection of community. Uh,
Mm,
and
yes.
we have a very unique community that we live in every day, everywhere, every city, including yours. And there's no reason why theater shouldn't be accessible. Every a few weeks, somebody will come up and just give a hug or a high five or a fist bump and say, I'm really happy that I'm here and I'm happy that this place exists. It's safe. And I feel like I can be me. And I think that that is one of the most rewarding things anybody can hear in their lives.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Six Pack. My name is Jeremy Andrew Davis. I'm a disability rights activist and educator, a filmmaker, and social media creator. You might recognize me from SixDegrees.org's award-winning Disability Allyship series. I know all of you love Aunt Ruth. And I'm excited to be hosting this episode of the Six Pack in celebration of Disability Pride Month. The Six Pack is SixDegrees.org's podcast series, where we get to introduce you to change leaders championing causes that are near and dear to our hearts. I already mentioned that it's July, and that's Disability Pride Month, and storytelling is at the heart of both SixDegrees.org's work and my own work. So what better way to bridge these elements than to highlight a changemaker who has dedicated their life to empowering disabled folks to lean into storytelling through theater. Today's guest is Katie Cummings, founder and executive director of Pink Umbrella Theater Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I am excited for you all to learn about Pink Umbrella and Katie's journey in this work. Katie Cummings, welcome to the Six Pack.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here today.
Well, we are so excited to have you. And of course, on every Six Pack, we have those 6 questions that we are going to be asking you. So let's dive right in. First, tell us about your organization. How do you bring your mission to life?
Sure. So Pink Umbrella Theater Company was started in 2018 with the premise of creating a professional theater company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with a focus on hiring disabled actors and artists. And since 2018, we have produced several shows. We have seen over 400 students in our classes and our community partnerships. And we are proud to say that over 51% of our leadership in everything that we do are actors and artists who identify with a disability and or are a part of another marginalized community.
That's amazing. I want to be there and be participating myself. That sounds really, really great. Thank you for your work. So question number 2, what is the most rewarding part of your work?
I think that there's several ways to answer the question, but I think it comes in listening to our company members. We have several people who have been a part of Pink really since the beginning. And from time to time, whether it be in a rehearsal or a class, one of our members will stop to share how important Pink Umbrella has become in their lives. We, as a society, don't always cater to the needs of people with disabilities after the age of 18. If anybody's worked within this community, they know that there's a cliff that happens, and many people fall off of that cliff. And then what do they do, right? Pink has become a lifeline for many of our members. This is their thing. They're theater kids. This is what they do. They're not kids. They're all adults, but they're theater kids in their heart. And this is their place to create friendships, to tell their stories, to tell stories that they are interested in. And I think that that is just one of the things that strikes me every a few weeks. Somebody will come up and just give a hug or a high five or a fist bump and say, I'm really happy that I'm here and I'm happy that this place exists. It's safe. And I feel like I can be me. And I think that that is one of the most rewarding things anybody can hear in their lives.
Yeah. That resonates so much with me. I am a theater kid now grown. And, yeah, once you're an adult, there's not much options. I have been involved in community theater in my area, and I would love for there to be a community theater that has accessibility in mind. Instead of sometimes having to fight for myself and advocate for myself, it can be so exhausting in such a safe place as a community theater. So, yeah, that is amazing that you are having this initiative, having this theater as a place for people to find community and support and be able to also tap into those things that are fun for us. It's such amazing work.
Well, right. And I think too, like having what I hear a lot is that we have to advocate for ourselves in every location. And
Everything.
theater's such a big playground. Like it is available and accessible to all. We've got to get out of that blinder of what theater should look like. Theater's supposed to look like Broadway or, the East End or West End in London, right? Well, theater is a reflection of community. Uh,
Mm,
and
yes.
we have a very unique community that we live in every day, everywhere, every city, including yours. And there's no reason why theater shouldn't be accessible. And there's no reason why you should have to fight for that. Have to advocate for that within this world because it's such a huge playground. So yeah, I hear you.
I think you've already been starting to answer the third question,
Oh, sorry.
which is what made you get into this work and then how do you get involved?
So I've been doing theater since I was a little kid in my basement. When I went to high school, we of course had that very typical theater program that made us want to look like the Broadway shows, as mentioned. But our directors there made sure that everybody was featured, right? All of us stood in the front row at some point in time and danced. There was not this elitist type of attitude there. So I really think that this work started then. I didn't know it, but it did. And then I grew up in theater. I tried muggle jobs for a while. That was not my jam. I took a muggle job to save my soul. Um, and I worked for First Stage Children's Theater here in Milwaukee, and my colleague Jennifer Adams started a program called Next Steps. And in that first week, we had 8 young people with autism, and we were trained by Mary Stone, who still works with Pink Umbrella today. She's a special ed trainer. And when she walked in the room to teach us how to teach special ed, um, all that time ago, it just clicked. Like the stuff that they do in special ed is very similar to what we do in theater. And that first week changed my trajectory. It really did. And by the time I left for stage, we had over 200 students who were theater kids, now adults, and we were trying to fit them into that model of a children's theater and realize that that doesn't work. They should have a place of their own. And so that's why Pink Umbrella was created. Um, and I do it because I love it. And
That's great.
end
There's
of
no
sentence.
better reason to do it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So if you could change one perception people have about your work, what would it be?
Resume competence, people. Just resume competence. There is so much to learn and create with people who are atypical thinkers. And the world that they bring to life through theater is, for me, one of awe and enjoyment. Uh, because a lot of our actors who have intellectual disabilities and or emotional disabilities look at the world in a different way because their brain is wired differently than mine. And to see them process through character creation is one of the best things on earth. And I think that, again, we've got those blinders on what theater should look like or who these characters should be. when you open the door and let people create, really create and collaborate together, it is a joy, um, and so powerful and so authentic, uh, that, um, that it's life-changing.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking back to your statements about like that drive that is often in theater spaces of like, we need to make this like Broadway, and how, in my experiences, when you create the environment that fosters support and needs of everyone, that you actually are better able to perform. You're more equipped. Like things flow better than if, I mean, it's a common trope in Hollywood films of like whiplash type, the overbearing, and then you like break the person to be able to find their. No, that's not how it works.
No.
It's not. And I so wish that your kind of work and your approach was like the standard everywhere, because we just have this elevated experience for everybody's. But yeah, thank you for what you do. Next
Yeah.
question. Can you share a memorable story of impact?
I'm gonna be like one of my students. Can I share 2? So
Sure.
okay, thanks. Um, so one happened, in our very first show. As I mentioned before, it was really important to me to make sure that we were paying our people, right? Um, Most of the model across the nation for disability theater is where people need to be a part of it. And I wanted to make sure that we were not doing that. So we're actually one of 6 professional theater companies, with a focus on disability theater. And one of our actors on our very first show, was in her mid-30s, and when I handed her a check, she looked at me and she said, "This is the first time I've ever been paid for anything." And that, people look at me and they don't think that I'm capable, and that broke me, right? Like, that just absolutely broke me. And last night, I was talking with a theater maker here in Milwaukee, who works with a wide variety of theaters and has recently been diagnosed with anxiety and ADD, and is seeking an autism diagnosis, autism spectrum disorder. And she was having a, um, she just was having some issues and started to break down in tears. And she just said, "I'm sorry." And I looked at her and I said, "You don't have to apologize for who you are." And I think that those, 2 moments are something that, like, we have to continue this work so that people who others presume are not capable of doing a job and getting paid for it should, right? And then also remind everybody, we don't have to apologize for who we are as human beings. Like, just be you, and it's okay, and we'll hold you, and we'll take care of it, and we'll take care of you as best as we can. I think those are the 2 things that I continue to run into over and over again over the course of the past 6 years are those types of conversations. I've never been paid because I identify with a disability or I look like I have a disability. And I'm sorry I said this, I'm sorry I did that, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Stop apologizing for who you are as a human. Just be human. It's alright.
Yeah. As someone diagnosed with anxiety, ADHD, and I'm autistic, I resonate with each of those things. Um, Getting sustained work is hard. Uh, and then our conditions are defined by how much we cause problems in society's structures of, so like how much do we make other people uncomfortable? So we're constantly having to apologize for how we navigate the world because we're trying to get that job.
Right.
And so, yeah, creating a safe space where people can just be themselves and don't have to apologize for the accommodations that we need is just an amazing, amazing thing. So how can people support your organization and or get involved?
Okay, well, we love everybody, right? So if you want to be under the umbrella, it is open, it is big enough for you. Come join us in any capacity that you, right? Um, that is one way to do it. The other way to do it is that we are always looking for allies, right, in this work. The burnout, as you know, in theater or arts is, that turnover is it happens a lot. And so the more people power that we have under the umbrella, the better we're all gonna be. And financial support is good too, but I also think that spreading the word and coming to see the shows and participating in our classes is really more important because again, like it will change your perception on what disability theater can look like and could look like and what theater in general could look like, traditional theater. So I think just hanging out with us under the umbrella is really the best way to get involved here.
What a beautiful image. Katie, thank you so much for joining us on the Six Pack. And listeners, thank you for listening and tune in next time.